My name is Rochelle Dickerson, and today is May 20th, 2024. I'm from a small town in Maryland in the US, and I don't come from a very artistic family. My dad is really the only person with a creative passion and has been making music since I believe the 1980s. I've always loved art and was always drawing as a kid, but I stopped creating for a long time until my senior year of high school when I started painting as a way to relieve the stress that I was feeling about starting college the next year. I ended up going to college for business management, but I started really developing a passion for painting at that time and started pursuing that even more after graduating. This impacts how I see the world and create art because coming from a place where art was seen as basically failure, I feel like I'm constantly working to prove that it's not, which is a ton of pressure, but also extremely important because there's a generation of kids growing up in a world that's at a pretty pivotal cultural shift, particularly due to social media with the increase of the desire to start businesses and pursue passions and chase dreams versus the traditional get a 9 to 5 job, work at the same company for 45 years, and hopefully retire. And I just kind of want to show that you can pursue your passion and still be successful. You just have to want it. My dad is a writer and also has been making music since he was very young. So his love for music played a huge part in my upbringing. I also started dancing when I was 5 years old and continued as a competitive dancer until I was 18. So the majority of what I remember from my childhood centers around dance and listening to music with my dad. And with dance, a big focus aside from technique and skill is the performance and just feeling the music. So I think that the emotional connection that I have with music stems from these two aspects of my childhood and greatly informs my work. I'm inspired by music and what I feel from it, and I often associate each art piece that I create with a song. I've also faced a lot of unfortunate and traumatic situations growing up, which impacts the way that I see the world and create art because as a result of that trauma, I actually don't like to create from a place of pain or struggle. I try to see the world in the most positive way that it will allow me to because I don't want to be stuck in a place of hurt, pain, or depression, and I want my work to reflect that as well. One of my biggest influences is actually Jim Carrey, the actor. I was always a fan of Jim Carrey as an actor and comedian, but when I first started painting in high school, I came across a video of him talking about his artwork, and I had no idea that he was also a visual artist. And everything that he said in that video has stuck with me every day since, and I think about it every time that I create. Daria Callie is also another one of my biggest influences. I'm a self taught artist, and when I first wanted to try painting portraits, I looked for tutorials on social media to figure out how to paint eyes, how to paint a nose, how to paint a mouth, and things like that. And I came across her videos, and they taught me a lot of what I know about painting portraits. And her work is some of my favorite and has influenced my artistic style a bit. Right now, I'm focusing on trying to better understand and work my way into the gallery world. I participated in my first gallery exhibit in the beginning of 2023, and it really helped me figure out where I wanted to take my art career because for a while I just had no idea. It's been kind of tough because it's a bit hard to find the opportunities when you don't really know a lot of people out there like me, but I'm focused on really getting my art into those spaces. To me, the biggest challenge of being an artist, I feel like doesn't even have to do with the art itself. It's that creating really does take a lot out of you, not just physically from standing for hours or lifting or maneuvering in awkward positions while you're making a piece, but it takes a lot out of you mentally and emotionally, which a lot of people don't realize. You're taking everything that you feel and laying it out on a canvas, in a sculpture, on paper, or whatever your medium is, and you're doing that nonstop and then doing it for everyone to see and judge on top of that. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to experience and share, but it's really hard on the artist. So it really comes down to taking care of yourself, body and mind. If I could talk to my younger self, I would tell her to keep going and that she doesn't have to do what other people want her to or expect her to. I lost my love for art and started to work hard toward a future that I thought was what I wanted, but it was really just me trying to make other people proud and not be seen as less than someone else. And I really lost who I was entirely. So I tell my younger self that who she is and who she wants to be is good enough, and she doesn't have to ever give that up to be successful. I've never really tried any unconventional mediums or techniques, but I've actually been giving it a lot of thought lately what I would like to give a try. I want to branch out and try something new very soon. I'm just not sure what that's going to be yet. While I work, I like to listen to music. I've always preferred to have background noise when I did any work, whether that was homework or a task for another job. It's kind of hard to explain, but when it's silent, it's like my mind feels like it has to take up that space. So when my mind starts racing, it gets a little bit hard to focus. So listening to music really stills that for me. I usually listen to a certain genre or playlist depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm painting that day, but it's usually R&B or alternative music. The best reaction someone has had to my work was at an art market in the city. Someone walking by saw one of my paintings and recognized it from a gallery exhibit that it was featured in, and stopped and excitedly shared that they remembered seeing my painting and taking a picture with it when they saw it in the gallery. And that was the first time that I really felt seen. A couple people have also come to me at different art events and told me that my work reminds them of Kehinde Wiley, which is a huge compliment to receive because he's such a gifted and accomplished artist. My goal with my art is always to make people feel joy, hope, love, peace, and anything positive. My artwork presents a lot of vibrant colors and flowers, and even if the piece explores a more serious theme or meaning, the intention is still to represent a sense of hope or freedom from the negative, especially as it pertains to the Black community, where we are typically represented in a negative way, or the main focus is on our struggles or all the things that we have to overcome. And I want my work to be the opposite of that and be a bit of relief in a world where we don't get much of it. I'm currently part of an art residency program at Palette 22 in Washington, D.C. And as part of that, I get to live paint a couple times a month, which has been really awesome. And I'm also hoping to do another art show in the coming weeks. I'm primarily on Instagram, which is at La Roche Art, LaaRocheArt, and I just started a YouTube channel with the same handle.